All right, so we have 11:29:97 up today for Tyler. And while it was a good show overall, had some good moments outside of this Runaway Jim, which was certainly the highlight. Maybe one of the highlights. I mean, how's it not the highlight? That tells you how great this tour was. Because I can't say with full confidence that the nearly hour-long Runaway Jim was the absolute highlight of the tour. I mean, it's certainly up there. It could be argued that it was the highlight of the tour. I'm just saying what an amazing tour that it wasn't. So, and like I said, the show itself, you had the Wedge and Foam early on. They played The Man Who Stepped Into Yesterday, Avinu Malkeinu, A Divided Sky in the first set. A David Bowie in the first set, not A Divided Sky. Got a horn in there for Spud, a sloth for fans of that song. But really what it was all about was the Runaway Jim. And then, that even though this was an hour long, it ended up being a 5-song set. And then a Buffalo Bill, Moby Dick Fire in the encore. I mean, I'm a little surprised they played Buffalo Bill without me. I don't know what the deal is with that. And this was played in little town in Massachusetts. I don't know why people pronounce it the way they pronounce it. I'm not even going to say it, all right? Because I can't bring myself to say Worcester, all right? But I know it's not Worcester sauce. And I know how about if we compromise and we say, Worcester. So enough, all right, let's get on. Let's just get to the Runaway Jim, shall we? And look, it started out like any normal jam, has a cool little jam. In fact, maybe an extended jam in it. Didn't really quite have the, have this fall of 97 sound to it, though. Mike sounding great, really. And I'll include a link in the description, the version I listened to here from Stavely's YouTube channel. Maybe not 100%. I mean, it's a pretty damn good mix. I mean, did this get out there somewhere on a soundboard, even though the actual show was never released? I know sometimes they do that as filler, but I mean, how do you get a 58-minute song as filler? Was it maybe one of the like live bait releases or something? Because this sounded really good. The mix in the earphones was excellent. Page doing the thing again. I mean, there was at one point, man, like every note sounded like it was going in every direction. So somewhere around 13 minutes after a nice little jam, it's like that was the first time, maybe the only time I was like, I would have thought if I was hearing this live for the first time, I would have thought, okay, this is starting to wrap up a little bit. But then it wasn't. It just got into this kind of like slow jazzy kind of feel to it for a moment there. A lot of Fishman and Mike. Again, Mike kind of just ruling the first 15 minutes or so of this. And then it was Mike and Fishman, then Mike and Page. Somewhere around 19 or 20 minutes, Trey quietly starts to enter a little bit. And then as it picks up the pace, you just have like a full-blown rock and roll jam. Again, not necessarily the fall of 97 sound, but just a big explosive jam somewhere around 25 minutes. Certainly if they would have just tailed off and ended the jam right there, it would have been a big night and would have been a big thing. But then they continue it on by like 27 minutes or so. You start to realize like this is going to be an all-timer. They're caught somewhere in between like that sort of chaotic jamming of the early 90s and the sort of Phish funk of the late 97 kind of sound there, I guess. So then they roll with that for a few minutes, and then somewhere around the 32-minute mark, we start to drift off into an ambient zone, kind of quiet and chill. We're certainly going to end the song here, right? But then as that goes on, it just continues to get more of a kind of a darker sounding thing, and then Mike jumps back in again, sounding like just an all-world bass player, almost like a Big Black Furry Creatures from Mars tease at one point. I mean, that's how dark it got. It went from dark to weird with the Big Black Furry Creatures tease in there. Thought they almost were fully going to go to that again. And they did not. Then you start to hear something recognizable, like, oh, okay, maybe we're finally getting back into Runaway Jim to finish this thing, but that was not the case. Then we finally got the traditional fall of 97 sound as for the grand finale of this song in a full-blown Weekapog jam, which was absolutely incredible. 58 minutes in, I rewound back about 10 minutes and listened to that part again. It was like at that part, it's like they weren't even playing at that point. They were just like channeling madness from all around. And I'm sure at that point, like when it all wrapped up, there was the question of, was this still Runaway Jim? Was that all Runaway Jim? Like there was probably some confusion. Like, wait a minute, I thought was there a mics in there? And it's like, no, there were everybody looking around. Like, did that just happen? Like I wasn't there. I'm just imagining, setting the scene here. I'm sure a few of you were there. Wally P, I'm sure you were there. Tyler, I doubt if you were there. In fact, I'm pretty confident you were not there. So, yeah, man, I would imagine I mean, just listening to it later. And, it has always, it's in the conversation. Maybe the problem is why it's not, it's almost too long. Like, if this thing was channeled down to if this thing was cut down to maybe 38 minutes, maybe some of that weird stuff leading to the big black furry creatures from Mars, maybe some of the jazzy stuff earlier. Maybe if you could cut 18 minutes or so, or even 25 minutes out of this thing, I feel like it would be much higher on people's ranking as like the number one jam of all time. I don't know. The final 10 minutes, somewhere around that middle, say like the 25 to 30 minute range is like peak Phish, and then the final 10 to 12 minutes when they're just full blown into a Weekapog jam, again, just peak. Amazing stuff. And then they followed that up with a Strange Design, Hood, Caspian, Greenberg. Who even care? I'll be honest, I really just kind of grazed through all of that, just got right to the encore. After the journey that was Runaway Jim, Jim was not the one running that night. By the end of this, man, chompers were running. All right, guys, boom, we are out of here. It's Tyler, thank you for the request. What in the hell? How loud the TV just got in there?